Am I not seeing it? And we're live. Hey guys, today we are going to be talking about why Ethereum has been pumping, and there's a lot of relevant news to that because they're actually trying again. Now, in this video by Sasal, you can find him on Twitter. He's a big personality, Sasal0x. He does the daily refuel, all the technical updates that are not popular that are on Twitter. He kind of breaks them down, consolidates them, and still keeps it kind of technical, but we're going to go through them and we're going to keep things simple. So, if you have any questions, because I don't understand everything, we can always look into it. So Ethereum has been doing some upgrades and they are working on improving the user experience. They're improving safety, and I think that's one of the biggest things. So they actually had a large update recently, the Pectra upgrade. And we got to go over each one individually to understand what they're doing and why that has value. Because a lot of people think that Ethereum is a dead blockchain just because a lot of people have shifted over to layer 2 blockchains, layer 3, alternative layer 1 blockchains like Sui, Solana. And now Ethereum is getting a little more serious about doing things. I'm sure they've always been serious, but now it seems like they want to be a little more competitive. So let's take a look. Oh, we got Josh. Josh is in the chat. Josh,
hey,
how
how's
you
it
doing?
going? How's it going? I am back.
Good. Yeah.
Audio
looking
sounding
good?
okay today.
Audio is good?
Video looking okay today.
It is. Looking great.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you.
I got a little feedback,
to be
though.
here.
I'm getting a little echo from my voice.
Echo from your voice. I'll throw on the AirPods just like last night. That seemed to fix it. Just one moment. We got those.
While we're here, I'm just going to go over a couple more of these updates. Bring that here. This is from the Ethereum handle, so as legit as it can get. From May 7th, 3 days ago, the merge was for the protocol. Pectra is for the people. For years, upgrades made Ethereum work better. Pectra makes Ethereum feel better. So what's new in Pectra? A lot. This is where Ethereum starts feeling like a modern network, fewer clicks. So, instead of hitting approve and then confirm to make a swap, you don't have all that. So they are making that simpler, smarter wallets, cheaper transactions, cleaner staking. So Josh, we're just looking over some of the recent upgrades that Ethereum is working on. And I think that is really explaining why it pumped so much and really brought the entire market up.
Stimulates the markets, man. We need ETH to be doing well for us to have alt season, if you ask me. Very important for ETH to be doing well, whether you're an ETH lover or hater. You have to remember, for all you out there who may not know, ETH actually really started the altcoin game. They're the first blockchain outside of Bitcoin, allowing for smart contracts, allowing for all these new tokens to be created. So it's very important that ETH is at least doing decent. I feel like this is an important factor for us to get a proper alt season as we've been waiting for.
Right, because most projects or most coin pairs in liquidity pools are all paired against ETH. So if ETH goes up 20%, your coin's going up too.
Yeah, exactly. Great point there. So yeah, it's huge. So you're taking a look at the Pectra upgrade, is it?
Yes. So they recently did an upgrade. I don't think all these things are there yet, but I'm still catching up. They always have a lot of things and it's all very technical, but it looks like they really want to improve the experience and be a competitive chain and not just be the bodyguard of blockchain. They want to be the source of things.
Yeah, 100%. I look at ETH now really as honestly infrastructure layer. More so than anything else. In my opinion, it kind of set the blueprint for blockchains as we know it today. Of course, we have so many different options for chains that you might want to trade on, but a lot of the fundamentals, the blueprint, how gas works, a bunch of different things like this, you guys have to remember started off with the OG ETH. I like to say that ETH is like the godfather of crypto as we know it, altcoins and things outside of Bitcoin. Remember back when we were doing our Dragon Ball Z analysis, who did I have ETH as? I had ETH. I think I had ETH as Goku, right? The OG, the first to go Super Saiyan. I know that sounds wild, but and then Sui as Gohan. Sui.
Let's go with another comparison. So before the upgrade and all these recent updates, and before the 20-30% pump, where would you put Ethereum on the Dragon Ball Z scale? Still at Goku?
I still had it as Goku. I believe that's what I said for the original one. Reason being, first to go Super Saiyan was Goku. And the first pretty much altcoin, as we know altcoins today, Ethereum, the OG. Of course, you have the young ones with more potential, like Gohan, which I like to say was sweet. But yeah, ETH is the OG, and I haven't forgotten. So that's why I put it. I know it was struggling. It was kind of like maybe like it was kind of like maybe like looking like a little bit of a Yamcha, right, over the last few.
It's like a Piccolo. Like it's hanging out. It's doing its thing. Like it's reliable when you need it to be.
Yeah.
But it didn't have the strength to really be number one. With this recent pump, I got to upgrade it from a Piccolo to. It's going to be significantly higher with these upgrades. It's looking like a. Let's see who's up there. Probably it's looking like a Gohan. It's looking like a Gohan. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of RWAs coming here. It doesn't mean it's the strongest, but it still, technically has a lot of potential.
Right. Still relevant. Still a Z fighter. Still one of the main characters of the show. Whereas I have it as almost the main character. Not almost. I have it as the main character when it comes to anything outside of Bitcoin, when it comes to altcoins. So you have to remember a little bit, in my opinion, that's the history of it and the underlying infrastructure. This is all Ethereum.
That's true. Especially if Goku dies, he still comes back. He still finds a way. He comes back, keeps fighting.
Exactly. He always comes back. They wish him back with the Dragon Balls. That's what maybe these new upgrades.
That's just what happened. That's what this upgrade was reviving it.
They gathered the Dragon Balls. We got the Petra, not Shenron. This is Petra. They summoned Petra, trying to bring back Goku. So, and the thing is, though, when Goku comes back, everyone is saved, right? So you saw what happened. Raditz and Nappa was beating everybody up. Goku shows up, and it's like, yes, like the savior is here. That's the exact same thing that's gonna happen if ETH makes like a great recovery. It's like, yes, our savior is here. Let's have alt season. ETH is up. Now we can all go up. So that's why I say it's Goku. Right? When Goku shows up, right, it's all good. Then it's all good. It's like, okay.
Like a little 3 years late. 3 years, Goku was just kind of hanging out, just waiting for his moment. Now's his moment.
And he always shows up in the nick of time. Somebody might have already gotten killed. Yamcha already died by the time Goku arrived.
We got Dokkan who died. We got Suzu who died. We got SBF, CZ for a little bit.
Exactly.
CZ just got revived right now. CZ.
Exactly. Then in the nick of time, Goku swoops in heroic fashion and saves the day. And if ETH continues upward, and if we see some great things happen with Ethereum, that could truly actually spark the alt season that everyone has been sort of speculating on and hoping for. So that's my stance there. And I think it holds strong, to be honest.
All right, we got a question here from our friend Randy Bloomfield. Hey, fellas, since it's only us, if you had a couple extra grand to dump into a token, I don't care a play, or I think he's asking us, like, what kind of play would we have in this current market? So I guess there's risky plays and there's safe plays. Right now, I am a little risky. I have a leveraged long on Ethereum. So I set up a 10x when it was like at 1800. Just because I saw the momentum. I saw Bitcoin pumping. I was like, all right, if Bitcoin pumps, Ethereum lags behind a little bit. And it went beyond my expectations. So I'd say that's kind of the safe, risky play, a little leverage on ETH.
I love what you did there. Before I give mine, just to chime in on yours, love what you did there. because most people, because of how ETH has been performing, would feel super uncomfortable doing something like that or buying Ethereum. And a lot of the times, and from my experience in crypto as well, some of your best trades, they feel uncomfortable. They feel like, do I really want to do this? Some of the best plays, like and then a lot of times what feels like free money would actually end up going the opposite way, right? It's like, oh, this trade is too easy. So when you think the trade is too easy, you get dumped on or you get rugged. So I like that you were bold to make that play. I love it. But to the gentleman, Randy Bloomfield, who left a comment, I feel like that's situational. Dan mentioned that he's risk on. It depends on your situation. If you have, let's say, limited capital, I would approach it a little bit differently. If you have some expendable capital, I would approach it differently. I like longing here relative to momentum. As you mentioned, the trend is your friend.
Yes.
So just kind of following the trend. A lot of the times it'll be written in plain sight or hiding in plain sight. A lot of the best plays, things that showed relative strength but hasn't yet pumped with the momentum that we have in the market. I would long things like that, or even just pick up some things like that on spot and some plays underneath as well. What I would do, kind of generally speaking, I like Sui though, and I'd be looking for
Sui is good. Sui is good. I think going into the summer, going into the summer with the launch of the Sui play, we're going to have GameFi summer in Sui. There's going to be some game plays. There's going to be some GameFi infrastructure plays, and I think that's it's going to be great for a couple months. So that's when you really take advantage of it. There aren't really many things to invest in on the game side of Sui at the moment, so it's just something to keep watching. But I think the most important thing is like how not to lose money in this bull market or coming up bull market right now, right?
Yeah, exactly. You got to protect your capital, protect your exposure. It's tough. It's easy to want to go risk on when everything is pumping like crazy. It's easy to get excited and ape in. But a lot of the times, when you drink the Kool-Aid or you buy into sort of the hype, that's a quick way to get wrecked. It never typically goes well. Definitely take your time in seeing where the underlying value is, or things that are undervalued and stuff like that.
Because with the markets pumping, a lot of people are going to want to look for lower market cap projects, are going to want to take on more risk. And those projects are going to use that as exit liquidity. You buy it, they're exiting like soon after they build up that hype.
That's the game, and history repeats itself. And a lot, like you mentioned last night, I believe, a lot of these founders and teams they see this as an exit pump. This is a good chance to hit the door. We've lost X amount of capital, or we didn't capture this much value. We have that last exit pump, and then a lot of the times you don't even hear from a lot of these teams again, right?
Right. Keep that in mind. If you do hear from them on like X, they might be scheduled posts. They might just be trying to pump their project, but you got to look for the underlying value. And yeah, it's all going to be super risky right now on those lower market cap projects that obviously are dying or dead at the moment. Like, yesterday we went over Entangle 100% down. It's like, I'm not going to touch that.
We haven't even seen that.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be like a legit, utility play, not even a meme coin. Look worse.
Yeah.
Even in some meme coins, you don't see pure 100% down, right? So that was kind of funny to see. 100%.
So we got another one from Dale Ferguson, Virtuals Crypto. So Virtuals Protocol, I've been following it a little bit. I believe they have a new system to launching AI agent coins. I think it's gaining some hype. But I feel like all of that's really risky. What are your thoughts on that, Josh?
When we had that AI agent sort of mini season, it was super exciting. And of course, Virtuals, you'd see on the headlines of most of these tweets, Virtuals, AI16Z, AI you would see all the time. But that narrative, or at least that mini season, kind of came and went pretty quick, and the sentiment around even Virtuals changed pretty quick. I don't have any exposure left in Virtuals. I think I actually ended up selling that. I round trip that, and I haven't really looked back at it since. AI agent as a whole, I'm bullish on for the future, but I'm not sure Virtuals is the answer. I need to see something a little bit more, something that can do a little bit more. What are your thoughts on virtuals?
Yeah, that's some good honest feedback. A lot of people do round trip these things. I'm not going long or short. I'm kind of just staying sidelined on virtuals. I still am bullish on some of their smaller AI agent plays as far as
Nice.
people building in this space. So even if their token isn't successful, maybe someone else is building something. Right now, let's just take a look at a couple tweets. Virtual's Launchpad has been insane cook so far. So, they have a new form of their Launchpad. The next agent I'm looking at. So this guy's just kind of talking about it. I just looked up Virtuals on X and just want to see what the sentiment is for some of these people. Although Virtuals IO has been dominating mindshare with Genesis launches, I still see where creator bid. So people are just talking about what's going on. Not the best list by just searching for things. So yeah. Oh, here's a great one. I made life-changing gains last year with Virtuals. Then the bear came, stuck by Virtuals, still bull posting, defending them nonstop. I was very sure. A few months later, I made life-changing gains again by just locking in for 2 weeks on Virtuals. So
Nice.
he said locked in for 2 weeks. That is very short term. That means you took on a lot of risk, a lot of pain in the hopes that they returned. And they did, but there's no guarantee that will continue to happen. So I'd say AI is still going to be a leading narrative, but I think people are going to start shifting to newer narratives, maybe better infrastructure, maybe something not as overvalued, because essentially they are just kind of like an aggregator launchpad of things while everyone else can launch launch the same thing. So
Exactly.
that is something to look at. There's another thing from Token 2049 that I'd like to show you, because one of the most popular brands that kind of had a lot of hype on X and at Token 2049 was Tens. I don't know if you saw them, or 10.
10.
Yeah, 10. So we'll go over the website. I think we might have some interesting thoughts about this. So let me see. I'm gonna look for some tweets, but a lot of people from Token 2049 were really sharing their merch and how much they liked it, and they were kind of hyping it up. It was a lot of ladies with these
that
like
merch
10
is
jerseys,
clean.
right?
The soccer jerseys, those are clean.
Yes.
I didn't get one of those. I didn't see that because remember I showed up later than you guys to the main conference, so I think I missed out on some of the stuff. We just kind of stayed as a group from there.
Right. So 10 is building a fully AI poker game where you just bet on these AI agents to win. You don't actually play against them. They don't actually play against real people. It's just like you bet on these AI agents. Who's going to win?
Yeah.
They play each other, exactly. Which is kind of interesting, but we got to get to the website to get a little deeper on what might happen. Hold on. Crypto Rover,
That's
I think it's a big personality, right?
Yeah, 1.2 million.
Okay, so
and I saw DeLorean Labs. We can get to that one later too. I thought that was
cool. Absolutely. So I want to see what everyone's thoughts are on this. So let's first read Crypto Rover's tweet on this, then we'll look into 10 Protocol and then create an opinion. Okay. This is incredible. 10 Protocol have developed technology previously thought to be impossible, true hidden information on a transparent blockchain system. House of 10 is an amazing way to demonstrate the power of this new tech, as they have AI agents competing in a poker game. First off, there's still more. There's still more to that. But what do you think of that tweet so far?
AI agents competing in a poker game. I guess it takes that appeals to a certain degree of degen, certain level of degen. That doesn't really, to me, I have mixed feelings. I don't want to just start, hating on it. But just pure random, I could just go play. I guess I could just go gamble. I guess it's GambleFi /AI.
It's pretty much GambleFi, but
it's GambleFi /AI. Honestly, I feel like there's better ways to gamble. I'm not sure why it has hype. I'm trying to figure it out. So it's cool. All right. So I have my AI agent. He's competing against other poker players. Do you set up its strategy or something like that? Why it should have an edge or some kind, or is it just pure random? If it's just pure random, I mean, there's tons of random gamble games you can go play. You can go play roulette. Right. You can go shoot craps. You can go, play baccarat. Right? Why would I go and do all this extra stuff like an AI?
Yes.
to go play poker for me. I like to play poker. I'm just wondering how they got hype and where that sort of, narrative and their story comes from, why they're bullish.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So I think it's not the best platform. They're still in testnet, so you can't really do much at the moment. Pretty much you just either connect your Discord or your X for the airdrop. So there is an airdrop if you are interested in 10 protocol. But just the wording of this tweet says he's an investor or he got paid to tweet this. So again, we're going to read this tweet slowly. And you think about this, you know what it is. Would you be that bullish immediately unless you're getting paid? This is incredible. 10 Protocol have developed technology previously thought to be impossible. True hidden information on a transparent blockchain system. House of 10 is an amazing way. Exactly. So I want to emphasize this. So all the viewers there, if you see a tweet like this, you can tell if it's sponsored or if they're maybe an investor or they have some kind of stake in this, because just looking at it, there's no way you're going to be this hyped up about it and use this type of wording.
Commercial. It's so commercial. Go. That's the word for it. It's super commercial. Well said. I think that's how I was just stuck on trying to think about 10 itself. But then this guy's like, it's amazing.
It's the best thing ever. They changed the world. They changed the world, guys.
Exactly. Not yet discovered until now. You can use your AI agent to play poker. And that just doesn't sound like, to me, that sounds ridiculous. I can't lie to you. I'm not bullish on it. And especially now hearing that super bearish, because whoever that guy is with his 1.2 million followers either has a massive bag or got paid a massive bag to go ahead and tweet that out, right? I'm not sure how much 10 paid for that tweet or how much or his level of exposure in there. But as you mentioned, it's actually quite clear. I guess he has 180K subs on his YouTube. I haven't seen Crypto Rover stuff, but it couldn't be more obvious.
1.2 million. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So let's keep going obvious. Just so you guys understand, there is so much behind this tweet, and it's obvious to anyone who's been in crypto long enough to see this. So let's see. This is the first AI native iGaming I've seen. It could unlock billions in previously impossible markets. The implications go far beyond poker. Usually testnets are pretty boring, but this one I think looks fun to try out. And then they go into it. So 10 has been great at marketing, but we got to look at their website. So let's take a look at the website. Play, win Zen, take rewards. Let me just bring this over here so everyone can see what this website looks like. And what's most important to me is who's investing in this. Who are the investors? So beyond scalability, 100% EVM, 100% solidity. That doesn't mean anything, guys. That doesn't mean anything.
I'm so bearish on this. It's crazy, Dan. I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you. I think we should call out all of these points so people know what are the red flags when you see a new project like this.
100% EVM, 100% solidity. Oh my god,
that doesn't mean anything.
I've never seen that. I've never heard anyone try to push that as
their narrative. It means you didn't build anything, and you need to take credit for something.
Yes, it's 100% crypto, guys. This is 100% EVM. It's 100% solidity. That's
scaling Ethereum. So 10 combined with encryption technology scales Ethereum with faster, cheaper transactions. Not a thing. That's fine. Smart transparency. What value does this bring you? Developer experience 10 seamlessly integrates with the Ethereum's ecosystem. Everything does if you're building on EVM. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah. User experience for end users, the transition from Ethereum to 10 is frictionless. That not a thing. It's you're still not selling yourself. Maximum extractable value. That means you are going to get robbed by this platform.
yeah, exactly. Now they can extract from you. They can max extract from you.
VRF RNG, that actually has no value. There's a lot of projects that kind of build that into their services. Any layer 2 can bring this on. I think Pith Network does it. Chainlink does it. Some people even build their own. So
it's a random number generator.
What value? Yeah. How much can you sell that for, right?
See, this is the stuff I watch out for and try to get new users to be aware of. Because if you're brand new to crypto, some of these buzzwords could be like, "Ooh, what's that?" Ooh,
Hmm.
right? They might go on their Twitter, see the amount of followers, or hear some hype from somebody like Crypto Rover or something that they
Yeah,
just traded. It's like, oh, 1.2 million followers. They must know, and that must be their honest opinion. Like, look at how he's speaking about it, right?
yeah, yeah.
And they
Oh,
may
Crypto
they may go
Rover's
get it.
excited about it. Like he
I
won't
must be
sell
too.
me out. He won't sell me out, right,
Yeah,
bro?
he won't dump. He won't dump on me. He wouldn't lie to me. These
Yeah,
influencers won't. They don't lie.
yeah. This
So
guy with
yeah,
so many different followers, oof, they will. A lot do. So you
yeah.
got to be careful. Because the
Now,
poor
mind you,
followers don't
guys,
have this many the poor KOLs do not have this many followers. You get this
that's
big
true.
by over promising on things to make people rich.
Yeah, and enriching yourself in the
Hmm.
process. So yeah,
So
man. This is
oh, there's still more. They just say
oh
it
man,
again, but without pictures. They just say the same thing again without pictures. The 10 testnet is now live. If you're a developer, you can get started. Let's see. Let's take a look at some of the docs. Try 10, build now. Not super comprehensive, you know? It's not
no,
it's like who's like no one knows why you want to start building on this, why you want to start using this. And if you invest in your time in this as a builder, are there going to be users a year from now? So it's going to be pretty tough. So we still got a lot
yeah,
more to this website that we're calling out. Y10, on-chain gaming, next generation experience, high trust. They don't even give like the examples that they do on their Twitter about what it does, like for poker. AI, build with private AI agents, another buzzword. Sealed auction. In a sealed bid, bidders confidentially submit their one best offer in a sealed envelope. I mean, that's just a transaction. Private DeFi, institutional and RWA. These are all buzzwords. White paper. Again, white paper is toilet paper. It doesn't mean anything
literally.
unless they actually build something and if you can trust them. Now, this
And
is
wow,
the
look at all of these partners at the bottom.
oh
I'm
yeah,
actually
yeah.
surprised. So guys, okay, we'll
I
save that.
wanted to
We'll
say
save
this
that
for
for a
you.
little bit. Okay,
I
we'll
wanted to
save
hype
that.
you
We'll
up
save
on
that. This
this.
is crazy. Oh my goodness. So guys, one thing I've noticed, especially every single cycle, not even every cycle, every narrative shift. Anytime there's a new narrative, okay, new teams, new individuals out there, usually Anon will sort of make a filter having buzzwords, anything to go ahead and max extract or add value. Let's say there's AI agent hype. Oh, let's throw that in with Gamblify. It's not actually something that needs to actually go together, in my opinion, at least in the way they're doing it, right? AI agent poker. It's like, you'll throw something together and this fits the filter where we can extract some value, we can raise some money. It's an AI agent Gamblify project. This is what it is. A lot of these teams are super extractive. They want to make a lot of money in a short amount of time. So you got to be
Especially the
wary of that,
VCs.
especially the VCs. They're like, oh, this is something people could buy into. So you got to be wary of that. Is this something that is a legit initiative to build something innovative, or is this a new filter for a way to extract capital? More times than not, it's the latter. So you want to
Hmm.
be hyper aware of that. And to me, this is screaming that paying a bunch of money to KOLs to have those commercial looking tweets, having buzzwords that aren't even really significant if you know anything about crypto, like 100% EVM, like this, like nonsense like
It's like,
that.
why would you even say that? No
Yeah, I
real
mean,
project would even mention that.
no real project is mentioning that. So to me, right away, it gives me like a clear sign. But to new users out there, you want to be aware: is this something just trying to ride whatever is hype right now, or are they building something that's like legit or innovative? That's
Hmm.
how I feel with that.
So let's play guess how much they raised. So I looked at them on Grok. I know how much they raised. Josh, how much did you think they raised? We'll give a ballpark number. We saw a
Honestly,
little bit
oh my
about the
goodness.
investors, but we're gonna dig into those VCs in a little bit. But if anyone wants to put in their guesses right now, we're gonna play guess how much they raised based on what we saw on Twitter and on their website.
Dan, what are we doing? Maybe we need to go make a project and raise some money, because you mean to tell me Zen or 10, however you went ahead and pronounced it, raised and honestly anything more than even 100K for what that is. It's
It's more.
buzzwords.
It's way
It's
more. It's
buzzwords.
way more.
they definitely went over $2 million raised. Please don't tell me. Please.
It's more. It's more.
Oh my goodness. Now, mind you guys, when they raised capital, it's going into a few different things: development, of course, liquidity, and of course, funding staff, right? That could include the founder, the team, the CEO. So they're already having some type of a payday. Oh, Dogs and Cars leaked it. Don't tell me they really raised over $80 million, Dan. No.
They did not. They did not raise that much. That's just a guess.
Okay, you scared me. You scared me. Okay, Dogs is guessing too. I'll guess 10 million. If it's more than 10 million, I'll actually be appalled. Please don't tell me it's more than $10 million.
That is an amazing guess. According to Grok, they raised $9 million in funding with their latest Series A on March 15, bringing in 6 investors. However, some posts mention a potential higher figure of 16.5, but that kind of lacks any accuracy to that. So it's a guess anywhere from 9 to 16.5 million.
Insane.
And that is mostly going into marketing. There's probably like 5 people working there. 4 of them are doing marketing.
Yeah, that is insane. How they have these meetings and close these deals. What did they tell these VCs? I have no idea, because to me, it looks like a filter that's riding the wave. And they had a presence even at Token 2049.
They did. They did. People love the jersey.
The jersey is fire. I can't lie. That's good marketing there. And the thing is, what I've learned is that just Dogs and Cars said, sorry, it wouldn't surprise me the way how much we were surprised. But yeah, just because you see a project actually at a conference, it still actually doesn't mean they're all the way legit or legit at all, to be honest with you. And I've seen that happen a few times, like soft rugs and different things like that. Well, even what was it, BitConnect? They had a whole conference of their own. Remember BitConnect?
Yeah, it was the best conference though, just because he got the best memes out of it.
Yeah, literally, those are timeless crypto memes. Those are forever. But yeah, man, I'm disappointed to hear that. I can't lie to you. I'm disappointed to hear that, to see that. You like to think that the VCs are getting in on real stuff, but you have to remember the VCs are in there to make money just like everyone else. They're not your friend. The VC is not your friend. Right?
Absolutely.
they're
so
not your friend.
Let's take a look at the partners. Tell me if there's any red flags here.
All right, let's see. KuCoin Labs, Republic Capital, R3, Big Brain Holdings, Pragma, Ford Foundry. Interesting. Sky Labs, GTS Ventures, One Block, D Wales Capital. I mean, to me, the red flag was already just the fact that a project like this even raised. I'm looking at all these VCs, and I'm like, come on. But in particular, any VC or entity that they raised from red flag, I'm not particularly seeing or following. Big Brain Holdings. Yeah, go ahead and tell me. I'm not catching it.
Well, for myself, is like there's no like notable trusted VCs that, if they're invested in it, it builds trust. So, DWF Labs, obviously they're a market maker. They have an investment arm. They only want to make money. Fjord Foundry, that's kind of like a launch pad. They probably used them, so they invested with them, but they're going to exit immediately because that's normally part of the deal. No disrespect to them. That's just how the game is played.
That's how it goes,
And KuCoin Labs. Those are the 3 I recognize the most. Now, KuCoin Labs, that is the investment arm of KuCoin. I've seen a lot of KuCoin Labs projects. None of them have been successful. So that was like my biggest red flag of like, oh, this is an exit project.
Yeah. Fair to say. I haven't been following KuCoin Labs investments. I would expect them to be, reputable. When I see KuCoin, pretty much, I guess that's the main one. Big Brain Holdings. There's something from Big Brain that
I feel like I've heard of them, or they are someone else that sounds like another project.
Yeah, and I've seen Big Brain somewhere. The rest seem pretty, I guess, obscure.
Yes, and that's another red flag. If they all seem obscure, like, oh, they'll take money from anyone. And if you take money from anyone, those people want to make money immediately. They're not in it for the long term.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. We'll take money from anyone. We just need this bread. And then we have Ford Foundry, which I didn't even know invest into projects, or if they threw them on there because that's where they did their raise. But yeah, man, it's not looking too enticing to me at all. Yeah.
So if you are in this, they're doing an airdrop. take that airdrop and run. Now, with these airdrops too, there is some shadiness behind the scenes. I'm not saying they're doing this, but I've heard from other VCs how things work behind the scenes and from other people at crypto conferences. So there's two things. One, there's dark farming. Are you familiar with that term?
Dark farming, where the teams themselves know the criteria, and the teams themselves know the criteria, game it from other wallets, and their friends and family can pretty much go ahead, get that lion's share of the airdrop, and sort of have information that nobody else has, and position their own wallets to enrich themselves. And that's kind of almost a slight at the VCs as well, because they know the VCs are trying to exit before them. They'll go ahead and get their wallets eligible and not release the criteria until after snapshot of the airdrop. Am I right?
Absolutely. You got that,
I guess,
perfectly right. The only addition to that is that there's actually a business for that, where dark farms work with these VCs to farm these airdrops in advance to take the lion's share of the airdrop.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Goes to show how much of pawns most users are, how they look at us users as pawns. They're playing a different game, right, between each other. That's crazy, and that's unfortunate to see. Crypto, it requires, I guess, it's supposed to be trustless, but when it comes to these centralized teams and entities, they make the rules, and so they can bend it in their favor. You never know who is really running the show, running the game. That's why we always say, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Yes. So I think that's a great thing about these streams. It brings out all this information that I don't really bring out unless like the situation calls for it. If I'm like creating a video, I don't really think about this until we see a project like with so many red flags that it makes me remember. Now, I learned about dark farming because I was at a crypto conference. I think it was Singapore like 2 years ago, and then I met this guy. He says, our business is dark farming. We got this full facility where we work with VCs and do this. And then I was like, all right, that's cool, man. And then I just left. I was just like, all right, I don't want to talk to this guy.
Gotta go.
I'm out. Yeah.
You hit him with the Homer Simpson going into the head.
Yeah, it was this
this
guy is a criminal. Like, let me get out of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally as it sounds. It's a dark game. It's a shady game. And what are their practices to get their hands on the criteria and work with the VCs? These are the people who are like, sounds like fishers, the people who do like fishing and do different things like that, or spyware, malware. I'm not sure how they get the criteria and then work with the VCs. Goes to show you that these VCs are also, doing things behind the scenes that nobody might see. So definitely try to understand your project, look under the hood as well as you can. And even still, there's things that we don't know taking place in these offices, right?
Right. There's one more thing. So I was watching the Chopping Block. It is just a podcast with like 4 big VCs from like the most reputable firms. And they talk about some of these shady projects too and how they do their airdrops. Sometimes, they say 20% of the supply goes to the community, where they won't even deliver that. They'll just deliver 1% and 19% to their own wallets, where they don't even need the dark farming. Yes. It's just so shady that you kind of like, there's no way to really look into it, that you just kind of have to trust that what they say happened.
Exactly. And you kind of shed a light on the secret war between teams and their own VCs themselves, right? Because when we get closer to TGE and listing time, okay, it's time to cash out. That's a big liquidity event. And it's a little bit of a game of musical chairs, or a race to dump, or who can strategically, slickly dump without looking malicious or looking like the bad guy or looking greedy, right? So that's how you have this dark farming playing, and VC trying to work with private companies to beat the founders themselves or the teams themselves, because they think they're being shady, but then the VCs themselves being shady may not even disclose.
They're all being shady. They're all being shady.
They're all shady. And it's really a secret war between them two. These are the people who have control of the most amount of capital within the project. They have the most amount of exposure within the project, and they have the most to gain, right? Because they put millions of dollars in that early rounds, or the team themselves is the one who owns the game, right? And so that's like a secret war. And us, the users, are just there along for the ride. More times than not, when these people are at the top are exiting, because that happens in so many different times and in so many different ways. You got unlock schedules, you got TGE itself, you got the dark farmers, you got all these different things. And so you really have to be very vigilant and diligent when it comes to these new token launches. Even the most legit looking ones like Celestia have some foul VC play at work behind the scenes. So definitely something to watch for.
Absolutely.
Right?
So airdrops are opportunities, but you know, you want to look for the more reputable ones where you'll actually make some money out of it, where they actually have backing, they have a technology people might use, and then those are worth your time. Something like 10, where you just add your Discord, you add your X, like that's not, you're probably not going to get much out of that, where they just might farm you. They might farm you as a user.
Farm you. Don't get farmed by the airdrops. A lot of airdrops do farm the farmers, and some people don't even break even on fees. I've experienced that, and it sucks. So definitely want to be wary of that. But see, that's why the thing is, I've been very vocal. Usually I dump 80 to 100% of my airdrops that I get, all of them immediately, because they typically trend down. A lot of people got free tokens, VCs versus teams trying to sell. So if I'm really am bullish, I could buy back later, or we'll see what happens when the smoke clears. Or more times than not, somebody inside gets exposed for being shady or doing something malicious, like we saw with like Mantra, we saw with like Mantra, we saw that with Dimension, Celestia. It's endless. Movement Labs, right? All these different things. So it's really like navigating a minefield. And you have to remember that these teams, or especially these VCs, both of them, they're not your friends. And if you take a total loss on your investment, as long as they made money, they don't care. You know, when it comes down to it, more times than not. And I know it's like we like to say kumbaya and community, but it's a very PvP game when it comes to this. And at the top end too, VC versus team, right? PvP, and they're competing for high stakes. And you're in the middle, right? You're just in the middle. So that's the one thing.
If they can't take from each other, they take from you.
Yes, exactly. And so we have to deal with the crossfire and all that. So definitely something to watch out for. And that's why I say don't marry your bags unless it's like a super well-established ecosystem with high growth potential. A lot of these different things hits all the marks, still can let you down. But don't marry your bags to a fault, and don't drink the Kool-Aid. I say it every single day because crypto can come with some pain if you're not careful.
Now, shifting over to more pain, I don't know if you know, there was a new pope, and there was a new pope meme coin, Leo the 14th, and this is the chart.
Of course, guys, of course.
This is Max
we got
Payne.
another 100. We got another 100. Minus 100 there.
Minus 100%. Full liquidity rug pull. They just full exit.
Full exit. Look, 0.0000. Usually you only see a couple decimals. They cleaned it out.
No one added liquidity.
Yeah. What was that meme? Yeah, not even the community. What was that meme a few years ago? He's like, oh, it went to 0. Yeah. Remember that guy who's trading the Squid Game token?
Yeah, the Squid Game token.
Yeah. So it's looking a lot like Squid Game. And that sucks. There's some blood. That red is for blood because there was a lot of blood in that trade. It climbed quite a bit, 500 million.
Yeah. I wanted to bring this up. Ash, this guy is, I think, a pretty respected person on crypto Twitter. He's, you know, he doesn't really do too much shilling, and he had this good tweet about Bera. So I know we were talking about Bera yesterday, so I didn't know what's going on, and I wanted to bring this up. Not trying to shill this or anything, but we want to make sure we have all the information. So I'm not sure if you're aware of this. We'll just go through this tweet. Developments probably found a bottom at $2.6. Retrace a little. We'll find out. Valuation hovering around the last round fundraise, which is decent. No new supply hitting the market in the next 9 months. Large overhang is done by Boyko. I don't know what Boyko is. More projects. Infrared. Puffpaw. Puffpaw, if you don't know, is vape to earn, which could have hype at the beginning, but I don't know if it's the best project. It'll just get people addicted to vaping because it's vape to earn.
It's geared for people who already smoke
Right.
cigarettes and are aiming to quit or transition to vaping, and then hopefully transition not to. But you're right. You can get farmers who just get it just to hit it and get hooked on vaping. But it's
Right.
actually geared towards quitting smoking.
Okay, that's
But
good.
I
So
mean,
it is, but it's
they
a
do sell the
relative.
vape.
Yeah, it's kind of a small audience, well, it could be a big audience. I don't know, but it's a
There's a
limited.
big vaping community, huge vaping community, and
So it
they
could be a net
definitely
good.
had some hype. It
Could be a net
could
good.
be, could be. I wasn't too crazy about it, but they definitely should. Apparently, their airdrop should really cook. I'm bullish on infrared finance. I really like infrared. If you like
Mhm.
Berachain and you like the proof of liquidity and the yield, it just makes so much sense. I've been actually talking to the team here and there. I like the team. I like the vibes. And infrared finance is definitely one I'm looking at. Berachain as a whole, though, we had a pretty fun conversation about yesterday. Could
Mhm.
it be the end? Could it be the music stopping here? But I like the
It could
first
have been the
point.
bottom. As soon as people started distancing themselves, like, oh, that was the bottom, and then now
Bottom
they
is
lost their
in.
reputation.
That's how it goes so much in crypto.
Mhm.
And one thing that I mentioned was the number one issue for Berachain. He mentioned the large overhang. If you up there, the large overhang is done.
I don't know what that
I
means,
assume.
though. Can you explain that?
Look, when I hear large overhang, I believe just a whole lot of exposure or allocation from a VC or early investor being that
Oh, I see.
overhang that's just ready to dump. And I believe that they're saying like that the biggest potential dumper or the biggest threat to the price is out, or at least has most of their exposure out. That's how I'm interpreting it. I actually could be
Okay.
completely wrong, but I believe that's what that is. And that being Boyko
Oh.
being their biggest one.
I like this. Eden Web3 Global, the first product on blockchain. And then, oh, okay. When I was reading it, it said followed
Toys?
by Andy, but it wasn't like our friend Andy. It was a different
Oh,
Andy.
okay.
I thought it was our friend
I
Andy.
laugh so I wouldn't be surprised. That's hilarious. I love Andy, man. Andy, shout out
Yeah.
to Andy.
Shout out to Andy. It's like we caught him not following the deep gameplay
Yeah,
there.
we caught him in 4K. We caught him in
Yeah.
4K right there. That's hilarious. Kodiak, yeah, their native liquidity platform. Basically the number one liquidity hub as far as money market trading, swapping, DEX. I like Berachain. I still like Berachain. Smokey is actually cool, real cool founder. Met him in Denver, and just been around the Bear vibes from early on. I would never fully give up on them,
Mhm.
and I wouldn't doubt the Bears. Right, the Bears have been doubted many times before, and they always come out on top, swinging. Mr. Jester is here. He said, "What Bear projects are you guys the most interested in?" Now, infrared finance is actually they launched their point system, so you can actually earn points towards their airdrop, which could end up being very good. If you've seen some bearer airdrops, if you are on the higher end of the leaderboard, a lot of them have been very lucrative. And I think this has potential to be among the top lucrative. When you're talking fees, they probably make the most amount of fees, at least up their top three for sure within the Berachain ecosystem. And you're talking about TVL, total value locked, and how many people are actually trusting the liquidity on there. Infrared is on top, number one. They've already smashed over 1 billion in TVL, retraced with that price retrace of Bear, which makes sense. But when it comes to interesting Bear projects, have to put infrared right at the top for myself. Followed by maybe like Steady Teddies. I feel like that's like the new sort of NFT community vibe there. So maybe some airdrops can come for those in the future. But I gotta say infrared for me. Have you been looking at any Bear projects, Dan, that you may be able to answer for Mr. Jester, or not too much?
I'm not too familiar. I'm sure Mr. Jester, if you want to share some, we can take a look at it because I know you're in Berachain according to your profile picture and
Mm-hmm.
username. So
Yeah.
we're always looking for like what does the community believe in? And that is
Mm-hmm.
that's a big green flag if a community really likes something.
Exactly. And that's why I mentioned infrared, because you can
Mhm.
see where the majority of users are putting their capital. To me, that's very telling. and infrared being the top one and not having a token yet, there could be opportunity there because you can earn yields along the way, earn some, points while you earn those yields, similar to Hadel. I talked about how to farm Hadel before Hadel had its airdrop, and it seems like pretty much the same thing here. Provide liquidity, earn fees, earn rewards, and earn points at the same time. That translates to tokens. Quite straightforward. And so that's why I'm looking at infrared and how I would do it.
Now, let's say people do get this airdrop. There are a lot of airdrops when it comes to like these liquidity pools, and they don't do well long term. But let's break down why. So they want liquidity on chain because it funds transactions and lets people do swaps, and then they take a cut of those fees. Now, by trading and earning points and having that liquidity there, you are participating, you're helping their business operate, you're earning some yield too and points for the upcoming airdrop. Now, when the upcoming airdrop happens and you get tokens, most people exit. Most people cash in because that's the highest point in like more than 90% of the cases that you can take that yield, right? You want to cash out because a lot of the times the token doesn't have enough value for it to continue going up because people are cashing out. Long term, it could change. It could turn around. But for the most part, that's why if you are yield farming and you are getting these points in airdrops, the best thing you can do is cash out right away.
I agree. And that's what I always say, just with all airdrops. I like to dump them right away. Go ahead and jeet that right away. Bold.
Yes.
Just be bold. Just click it. Just close your eyes and click it.
Yeah.
It's easy to buy the Kool-Aid and like, oh, what if it 10X's tomorrow? What if it 2X's tomorrow? It probably won't because a bunch of people just got free tokens and even the VCs and team are ready to try to dump what they can. At least for, that on that day one. So that's a good point with the liquidity markets. But honestly, any airdrop, there's a few exceptions. We had Hyperliquid, we had even Walrus, very nice price action following the airdrop. But you have to see the differences between these and a little bit more obscure protocols and ecosystems. Most of them dump heavily because people just got free money. They want to, realize those gains, capture those profits from your farming right away so that you don't lose them, right?
Absolutely. So when you are investing in a crypto project, it takes a lot more than just looking at the project, the white paper, and what they're doing. You have to figure out what incentives everyone else has, if they're building long-term, if they're trying to exit, and there's a lot of different people involved in that mix. So again, PvP, you are fighting against all these other people unless you have these long-term builders who are actually generating revenue.
Yes, exactly. And one thing too, like you mentioned, another point too, is they're probably getting maximum revenue leading up to these TGEs and this airdrop farming. It brings in more fees and more users, and usually see a sharp drop-off decline once that airdrop is done. And once TGE has taken place, many people pack up, they sell their tokens, and they move on, right? So revenues drop. The ecosystem, we see a lot of the time, tend to slow down until they find their sort of floor for their core users. And then some of them actually never recover back to what it was before. So you got to keep that in mind because these fees is what are keeping the lights on for projects and protocols. And if those slow down, then maybe tokens could be keeping the lights on, which can then be dumping, and it's kind of like almost like a death spiral from there. So something to keep in mind as well.
Right.
So what happened to Orbiter?
Oh yeah, you got the full exit on that, right?
Yeah, no, I wish I did. No. No, I didn't. They didn't release everything at once, and then same deal.
Oh, that's why.
Shady business, team dumped.
Oh, they make you wait to unlock.
Yeah, there was 3 phases of it. There's one for the NFT, then there's one for your points, and there's one for this. And of course, you weren't able to claim right away. And of course, while no one was able to claim, you see the price go do. And so that's the game. That's the game.
Speaking of that, so Double Up is a gambling app on Sui. I don't really talk about it because I don't want people to become addicted to gambling, but I own some of their NFTs, and NFT holders are getting a 2% allocation. Now they have an interesting thing with these lockups, right? So,
Okay.
this says they do hype it up. This is huge and goes to show we care a lot about our players and community. But hang on, hang on. So if you
Well,
do
hold on.
claim it, you burn your NFT and it becomes a soul-bound NFT in exchange for your up
Okay.
allocation. But you don't get your full allocation right away. So they kind of go into it later. It is vesting. Receiving 2% of the token supply is a significant share. I mean, I guess so.
Whoa.
With it being such a strong number, we've decided the token allocation will be unlocked
Hey,
over 1 year from launch.
why do they have to say that? 2%,
Sig-
which is a significant number.
yeah,
With this being such a
th-
strong number, like we have to come on, bro. 2% is
that
2%. 2% is
yeah,
2%. They have to go out of
2%
their way to
over a
say,
year. Yeah,
yeah,
the
it's such a
token price like
significant
today
share.
versus a year from now is gonna be like 90% down. I'm 100% sure
Exactly.
of that.
So no, I'm not sure why they tried to force that. I'm really not liking the verbiage that a lot of these
Yes.
projects are using. It reminds me a little bit of 10, this one right here from
Yeah, they're like,
from
we're
what I'm
doing
hearing.
you a favor by giving you 2% for believing in our project.
This is huge. Like pay attention to that. They're trying to kind of get you to be like, oh yeah, yeah. But
Yeah, we got to read through the lines. So the allocation will be
read through
unlocked
them.
over a year, and when you claim the airdrop, you burn your NFT, which is pretty valuable. It's like at least 70 SWI. I would take 70
Right.
SWI. I would rather take the SWI than the airdrop. So I am going to be trying to sell my NFTs for this, and I don't want to be holding too long. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
go maybe full screen here. Oh, we
Yeah, I
got
think I might take it off.
all right, got a little teaser in the background. I'm gonna hide that. We got another upcoming project we're building. I think we're gonna start up a community. So if you're looking for support in how to navigate the crypto markets, we'll be working on that soon. I don't know if you guys are interested or know people, but I noticed there are a lot of paid communities in crypto, and I think those are okay, but it's good to have the perspective and maybe unbiased opinions, because if you are a KOL, there's really two ways to make money from your crypto content. It's either take on sponsorships, many can be shady and super lucrative, or have a real community and provide that support. Now, I have a friend named Eddie who always reaches out to me and asks like, "Oh, is this crypto project legit?" Every time he asks me that, the project is not legit, because he's on Facebook, he gets these Facebook ads, and I got to tell him, every time you see a Facebook ad or any kind of ad on X or social media and it's crypto related, it's a scam. Real projects do not do advertising that way. And he even brought up some other projects where like, oh, is this real? Like I get 2% a day on my money. I was like, that is not real. Like that is not a thing. That is another BitConnect knockoff. And if you don't know BitConnect, they promise 2% gains on your Bitcoin daily. And what ended up happening was you get 2% in the BitConnect token, which went to zero, and they kind of took everyone's Bitcoin that was deposited. So that was a big drama in 2018. So that is something to look out for. Oh,
Yeah, ridiculous. So
Mouse
it
is
can look
dying.
very enticing to new users, especially, right? But
Absolutely.
you gotta know what's going on here.
All right, we're coming up in an hour, so I think we're gonna close things up. How you feeling about the markets, Josh?
Honestly, I feel great. It is exciting. I'm not holding my breath. A lot of times when we're at our most excited, we see some harsh pullbacks. It is looking legit right now. If ETH can continue to be strong, alt season is happening. Reason we haven't had alt season, ETH has been held down. We need ETH to power up, turn up, and that is the rising tide that will lift all ships. We've seen Bitcoin go up and no alt season. The reason is because Ethereum didn't follow Bitcoin and go up. When we need Ethereum to go up, the OG godfather of altcoins, and then we're going to see a nice alt season. If Ethereum can maintain this momentum, I'll get very, very excited, and it's time to hit the trenches, baby. So
yes,
that's how I'm looking at it.
Awesome.
Well,
I feel the same way. Same way. ETH continues. We're going to have an actual alt season. Overall, crypto adoption traditional finance getting into it. Everything's looking very positive right now. So I think we are finally turning bullish. We still want to stay with the safer projects for now. We don't want to be in something that just dumps on us and exits. So there are a lot of opportunities popping up.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm definitely keeping finger on the pulse, keeping a close eye to the markets. We could see a new narrative emerge any day now. They come up and they die so quickly in crypto. So for whatever the next thing is, I want to hear about it as early as I can and start positioning myself, because when we see somewhat bullish momentum, you see a lot of new coins and new opportunities take place. Definitely be careful. If you're just chasing low caps, you will get wrecked. But being early to a narrative gives you a little bit more of an edge, right? So that's what I'm kind of looking for right now. And watching close. I haven't been making too many major moves. We did just also get home from Dubai. Sort of, watching closely. Anything real quick from Dubai that you saw, any new projects or pitches that had you quite intrigued?
From Sui Basecamp, Potato Finance. Potato Finance is like this dashboard for all your activity on Sui for DeFi. You can set up your Telegram, you can set up alerts. So they were at the pitch fest we went to, and I tweeted that they should have won and Zofi perps, because they have real products, real users. And when I tweeted this, some people responded saying like, "Oh, I love Potato Finance. I use this every day." And that is a bullish signal. They are going to do their TGE in Q4 of this year. So little early alpha. There is going to be an airdrop, and I'm going to have a video on top Sui airdrops very soon.
Yeah, super excited for that. Dan and I actually got a chance to meet, if not the founders, someone from Core. And just some really great. I think you might have an interview with them. I'm not sure if you posted it. Yeah, did you?
Not yet. I think we're going to post it to
Sorry if I'm leaking.
another... No, I mean, if we can leak, we'll leak. We're going to launch another channel just really for interviews, for crypto content, for stuff that isn't searchable. But if you're interested in crypto and what's trending and what founders are saying, we're going to have an outlet for that.
100%. And I'm super excited for that. A lot of special things planned for, the community out there. So really can't wait for that.
Can't leak the name yet because we got to get all the socials.
yeah, we got to secure a few things, but definitely looking forward to it, and you guys should too.
Awesome. Well, follow Josh at 0x King Capital, GPT Joshua on X, and look forward to the next stream. All right, thanks guys.
Likewise.